Y'all, you see what happens when you cover a lie up with a lie? Let me wipe my camera. See what happens when you cover up a lie with a lie? Then you cover up that lie with a lie. Are you watching what's going on? Girl, child, can we talk? Can we talk? Can we talk? You guys, like, this is a mess. This is like the result of adults who can't think for other people. This is a result of narcissists of all kinds, of all sides of the retrospect, who can't communicate because it's all about money. Everybody's thinking about how they're going to use people to earn wealth and controlling others. I think the whole thing about the thing that I have wine. It was a smoothie, but the thing that made me upset is why does it have to be a certain side of people projected as the people who vandalized and were violent against Capitol Hill? Why did they have a label? Because the moment that the label went on, oh yes, 13 famines, hey. This is all in the book of Revelations too. It's supposed to be the Third World War. And then the tidal wave and the comet. It's unbelievable that a lot of the people, and I'm honest to a lot of people. I have a group of bipartisan and conservative people in a group because I feel like a lot of people didn't have a voice without the distortion of other people arguing with them. So I have a semi-conservative, semi-ethical group of mature people who have healthy dialogue. Amongst those people, I can look at the demographics, and majority would show that they're over 45 years old. I don't think. Thank you, Aaron. We already know this is the greatest agenda of. You guys know the Illuminati card game, Agenda 21. But then what I got upset about was persecuting a group of people who support what they want to support. Then that's going to collapse freedom of speech, number one. Number two, the people of a certain particular age who are Republican, I wouldn't think that they would smash into not the like where they sit to adjourn and consort the legislature. I think that it was a group of people who bought hats, and we never will know that. That's the sad part, and that's where it's a conspiracy theory. That's the true definition of conspiracy theory. When you have something that happened and you can't prove what actually happened because it already happened, unless you captured like 10 of them and you tortured them, make them speak. Or if you hack their phones, like the Mr. Robot TV show, hack their phones, see what they were talking to and what they're about. But the moment that the television says, oh, it was pro-Trump supporters, I'm like, oh, see, that's going to make a lot of people look bad. Because not every Republican is a Trump supporter. Not every liberal is a Democrat. And I thought liberal was conservative 25 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. My grandmother used to work for Washington, and so she shared these things with me growing up. She worked for the Clinton administration. You mean Galvin Gruesome? He's still collecting? Our governor is awful. Because instead of, helping us out with our financial crisis in California, he's like, I'm going to just let everyone suffer. And then when you let your state suffer, then you point the finger at the person who's in charge of the administration. This is what happens when everyone was whatever your background is, okay, I get it. Don't like the man, you still got to do your job. It's almost like saying you hate your manager at your job, so you're going to slack off on your work. But consequently, what happens is you're going to have upset customers. And then you can never redeem your customers' satisfaction, So that's where we're all at. I think we're all seeing like what's really going on. This side framed this side, and this side accused this side of that. And so nobody knows what's going on. And I know like everyone was painting me as Mr. Trump supporter, but the only reason why I was really standing up for the voice in the middle for what the last 4 years was only because I was training to be a supervisor. I was training to be a manager. And the only thing that I knew was I can't have the side of my friends. I can't say, oh, this person's great. I need to hire them because they're going to make me look good. And or if I knew this person's brain was about this philosophy, regardless of the reputation, I have to hire them because it's a political move, and that makes me look good as a supervisor. So because I was in the position trying to get promoted, is the only reason why I was like, damn, I wish. Uh-oh, they're adjourning. This is a mess. The Vice President and the United States Senate. I will say though, like, what's his name? Mr. Chocolate? Mm-hmm. Yes, Mr. Liberal Chocolate. Ugh. What do you guys think? What are your opinions about all this? I guess when it gets juicy, I'll go off my live stream. But I just wanted to check in to make sure that I think everyone who's tuning in has the same feeling as me, that this is all just it's choreographed in my opinion. It is the best reality show I've ever seen, aside of the Housewives of Atlanta. And this is what I've been saying a long time, the narratives, the narratives. You see how much they kept pushing for everybody to be mad at, I mean, like this man right here, Zaddy, he can sit next to his, that's probably not even his enemy, but the fact that they have the same, they have to file the same taxes, allegedly. That's the thing I'm talking about. We should be able to do that. We should be able to sit next to someone of differences. But from an ethical approach, we need to get our shit done. And that's why I come in, Pitts. Like, his morals are probably because of his own upbringing from where he came from. That's not my business. I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is when you represent yourself of an ethical approach, that's what it looks like. When you're a classy person, despite what people think about you, that's what it is. And if you guys know anybody who's single who looks like that, but yeah, that's what I try to tell people all the time is you try having a job of being around people constantly who want to shut you down. That's what I went through. Not saying feel sorry for me, but I didn't pay much attention to it. I was like, yeah, Joanne, you remember, can I say it? Remember that Pilates class? And that teacher of the Pilates class? Shh. We won't say where. But remember, every time there would be something messed up in the room where I had to start my class late because the Pilates teacher did not clean up her mess. I mean, they mess. Like, I think people who are in that position of always feeling like you got to dodge somebody because somebody who don't like you always has an agenda to sabotage you. But you heard about the Pilates class. The one on Thursday afternoons. Remember that one? I remember I used to pretend to trip over the mats and fall because no one cleaned up after themselves. It's the same thing I'm looking at on TV. It's like somebody who shows that they do not support their colleague, and the actions and the energy, kind of is in the air. So people pick up on that. So long story short, private conversations or whatever happens, but I've always knew that there are certain people who just had it out for me and didn't even know why. But I was really upset when seeing that the people's actions of what they did to break into the Senate, wherever they're sitting at, and do all that mess. I thought that was so coordinated because if you guys watch, like, what is it, the Ozark TV show? When it comes to the end and you make the guess of what the next episode is like, that's what I'm doing. Because they went right to recess. And then after their first recess, because it was all confusing, what is it that one lady was like, we object. Then everybody broke into recess. And then all that shenanigans happened. I love you too. How are you, my love? I miss you so much. I think a lot of people who are in this spiritual, intuitive community, we call it our 5D Earth. This doesn't play any part in what we're going through. We're looking up. A lot of us are going, and it's funny because every time that all these things happen that keep you glued on your TV, something's going on outside. And I tell a lot of people, if you don't believe in unidentified flying aircraft, go outside and hit record, point it towards the ocean somewhere, and you will see something up there. Allegedly. Ooh, Pence is talking. He's married and he stopped talking about him like that. God don't like that. Look at his hair though. That's a good part. He got his lineup. He got his afro sheen. No flies. No fly zone.
In the Senate of the United States, ordered that the Senate, by a vote of 6 ayes to 93 nays, reject
Let's watch this.
the electoral votes cast in the state of Arizona for Joseph R. Biden for president and Kamala D. Harris for vice president.
The clerk of the House will report the action of the House.
This is it. Joanne, who are you talking about? The guy who taught the choreo class.
Pursuant to the law, Chapter 1 of Title 3 of the United States Code, because the two houses have not sustained
can you guys hear that?
the original certificate submitted by the state of Arizona will be counted as provided therein.
Arizona's a red state too, isn't it?
The vote of the state of Arkansas for president and vice president in accordance with the action of the two houses.
I was the only... Wait, who are you talking? Oh, you mean... Oh. Shh, Joanne, be quiet. He's on my Facebook page. I didn't like him like that. He was my friend. He's like my brother. Ew. I don't have feelings for family like that. Ew.
Mr. President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the state of Arkansas
CJ.
seems to be regular, in form, and authentic. And it appears therefrom that Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida received 6 votes for president, and Michael R. Pence of the state of Indiana received 6 votes for vice president.
Look, they're already telling you guys number codes. 6. 6. Illuminati, as Aaron was saying earlier.
Hearing none. This certificate from California, the parliamentarians advise me, is the only certificate of vote from the state that purports to be returned from the state.
Anyways, back to me, because...
From an authority of that state purporting to appoint or ascertain electors.
Well, I guess this is important. Let's just watch it one more time.
Certificate of the electoral vote of the state of California, I would say the great state of California, seems to be regular in form and authentic. And it
Lies. California's not authentic.
that Joseph R. Biden Jr., the state of Delaware, received 55 votes for president, and Kamala D. Harris of the state of California received 55 votes for vice president.
55. 5 and 5 is 10. 55 is 55 is 110. 110 is 3. 3 is a trinity. It's a triangle. See what I mean? This is how people of a higher realm, intuitive, look at these things. If you know numerology. Let's see what numbers they give here. Hey, Chris.
The certificate of the electoral vote of the state of Colorado seems to be regular in form and authentic, and it appears
So let's see the numbers.
Joseph R. Biden Jr. of the state of Delaware received 9 votes for president.
9.
And Kamala D. Harris of the state of California received 9 votes for
That's a
vice president.
Fibonacci sequence. So we're going up, spiral up Fibonacci. 9 and 9 is 18. 1 plus 8 is 9 as well. Fibonacci. So you see how the 9 is 6 upside down, and they gave us 2 6s before that. So everyone's witnessing what they do as a secret cult ritual conspiracy theory. But they're telling you that this whole situation is a conspiracy theory of how all this happened to diffuse people of believing conspiracy theories.
The electoral vote of the state of Connecticut seems to be regular in form and authentic, and it appears therefrom that Joseph R. Biden Jr. of the state of Delaware received 7 votes for
God.
president, and Kamala D. Harris of the state of California received 7 votes for vice president.
7 and 7. So that is. You guys ever heard 777 lucky number? So they're telling you code, but we see it as, oh, electoral college. Hey, Steve.
Hearing none. This certificate from Delaware, the parliamentary.
This is a mess.
The only certificate of vote from the state that purports to be
Hey, Stephen Ross, are you black enough?
certificate from the authority of the state.
Oh, Steve, your buddy Joanne is in this live stream, by the way.
Mr. President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the state of
Oops.
Delaware seems to be regular in form and authentic.
Hey, I'm about to chat in a second.
And Joseph R. Biden Jr. of the state of Delaware received 3 votes for president.
3.
And Kamala D. Harris of the state of California received 3 votes for vice president.
3. Remember we just said the triangle? The trinity is 3, and then you have 3 and 3, which is 6. So I'm decoding this live for you guys to tell you this is how I see the narratives. These are not good. These are all power numbers and numbers of frequency. My heart goes out to the lady, though, who got killed. Seeing the police were the ones who accidentally shot her, and no one's complaining about that. They just blame it on. Yes, CJ 369.
And it appears therefrom that Joseph R. Biden Jr. of the state of Delaware received 3 votes for president.
What's up, Max?
Kamala D. Harris from the state of California received 3 votes for vice president.
Look, 3 and 3 again, which makes 6. You guys get what I'm saying? So they're creating a frequency. So 9 is Fibonacci going up. Nikola Tesla taught this. 6 is spiraling down. So this is what you learn as when you see these numbers that there's a false flag somewhere in the works, or there was a false flag because they tell you these things. But I'm just a conspiracy theorist.
Mr. President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the state of Florida seems to be
She has a Illuminati badge.
authentic.
She has a Illuminati badge. See her Illuminati badge?
Trump of the state of Florida received 29 votes for president, and Michael R. Pence of the state of Indiana received 29 votes for
Even
vice
Pelosi, she has her,
Are there any objections
look at her wine.
to the certificate of vote of the state of Florida that the teller is verified appears to be regular in form and authentic?
Hi, Kim. We're just watching the mess, the hot mess show.
This certificate from Georgia, the parliamentary
But I'm decoding these things.
certificate of vote from that state that purports to be a return from the state
Chris, you get what I'm saying, right?
from the authority of the state purporting to appoint or ascertain electors.
Oh, Lord. How are your kids, Kim?
Mr. President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the state of Georgia.
Oh, Kim, you're going to love my new choreography. I'm twerking.
And authentic. And it appears therefrom that Joseph R. Biden Jr. of the state of Delaware.
Oh, Jen, what you're missing is
16
they're
votes
basically...
for president, and Kamala D. Harris of the state of California received 16 votes for vice president.
Okay, so we have 16. 1 and 6 is 7. 7 and 7 is 14. 1 and 4 makes a 5. 5 is a power number. They are getting big, huh? Now they can start doing chores. I haven't seen Teal Swan's predictions yet, but I do have my own predictions.
Due to unilateral actions by the Secretary of State to unlawfully change the state's election process without approval.
Look at Joe Biden's outfit, though. Yes, girl.
The stage for an unprecedented amount
That's fierce.
of fraud and irregularities. And I have
Is that an Adam's apple? I'm just kidding.
Sections 15 and 17 of Title III of the United States Code
5 is changed, yep.
should be presented in writing and signed by members
So this is how you, like,
representatives and a senator. Is the objection
when you live life out of the box, as what I'm doing, I'm trying to tell everybody, like, this is how they're predicting 2021. They're telling you how everything's going to play out each month for the 12 months. Check out Teal Swan's video.
In that case, the objection cannot be entertained.
Anything you say, Zaddy.
Section 18, Title 3 of the United States Code moves us.
Does he have Illuminati badge too?
This
I just big
certificate
silly.
from Hawaii, the parliamentarians advised me, is the only certificate of vote from the state that purports to be a return from the state. And then as annexed to it, a certificate from an authority.
Hey Jennifer,
that
I don't have
or ascertain electors.
TV either. I live stream everything because I like to have my own opinion
President,
and research my own information.
the vote of the state of Hawaii seems to be regular, informed, and authentic. And it appears therefrom that Joseph R. Biden Jr. of the state of Delaware received 4 votes for president, and Kamala D. Harris of the state of California received 4 votes for vice president.
Fascinating that they're even numbers, right? So 4 and 4 is 8, right? 8 is the number of infinity when you turn it sideways. If you guys know that, the infinity symbol. So that's the frequency of duality. One side versus the other side.
Purports to be a return from the state. That is annexed to it, a certificate from an authority of the state.
I know some people are watching me like, Aaron, what are you smoking? I'm like, I'm not, I'm drinking.
The certificate of the electoral vote of the state of Idaho seems to be regular, informed, and authentic. And it appears therefrom that Donald
Oops.
J. Trump of the state of Florida received 4 votes for president.
It's not a pro-Trump mob. It was a mob in general. People who like to do stupid things.
Are there any objections to counting the certificate of vote from the state of Idaho?
Okay, so we already know like it's going to go in favor of Biden. And then what we're going to see, this is my prediction, we're going to see people impostoring pro-Trump supporters acting out, lashing out. And then it's going to be hell on earth after that. Which sucks because a lot of us want to go back to work. We don't want to be focusing on, I'm sorry to say this, white people's problems. You know, like, and it's sad for people who actually are white, who are like, look, I'm no part of that. This is like when Black Lives Matter happened last year. And I was like, I don't want no part of that. I'm not protesting. I'm not black enough, according to Joe Biden. But you see how there's a flip? Last year's circumstances, it's like now the opposition is going through the same circumstances. So it's kind of like we're going to go through another 2020, but the democracy version of it this year. So it's sad. Ooh, let's do some cards. Yay! Ugh. I didn't do cards for 2021, did I? I think I did, but let's do some cards. Since I have my darling CJ and my boo-boo's boo-boo, Joanne. Where did I put my... Forgot where I put my stand. That's too much light. Wee. Sorry, you guys. Okay. Let's kind of look into the career of. Let's do this. Let's see what Biden brings in, ushers in, and then let's see what Trump ushers in or ushers out. Let's look into the future. This ain't working out. Okay. Whew. Career. Let's look into the future career of Trump, which should be taking over Epstein Island and being in a cave by himself. Which I think is kind of awful that I take both sides. I don't agree with him being irrational on social media, but it's social media's fault for not having filters in terms of dialogue. How come they can't filter what he says, but they filter us every single day? That's problem number one. Problem number two is I need to find my camera stand. And I don't know where I put it. Oh, here it is. You know, it's like oops, come back. We can say what we want. No, we can't. We can't say what we want unless we get fact checked, right? So that means that there's information that we keep digging in, and the people of power, the powers that shouldn't be is what I call them, they pay these social media sites to silence us of changing the narrative. That's how you look at narratives. So I see sacred law come up. Sacred law has a lot to do with forbidden mysteries. So when you don't want people to know something, you turn them away from it by telling them a lie that they can believe. It's sacred law. That's what the forbidden mechanism is. Kind of like Scooby-Doo and the gang. Remember when there was a monster, Scooby-Doo and his gang would be like, oh, ghost. But then they found the secrets at the end. But yeah, that's just what sacred law means. My next card was ecstasy. So this has a lot to do with illusion. Has a lot to do with seeing beneath the truth, or seeing beyond what is being presented, looking in the deeper meaning of things, trusting yourself and your intuition, that you're being led by your own heart, which I think is fascinating. So this could be for you guys who are watching, as well as where the nation is going. I didn't do an ab workout today because I just knew everybody would be focused on the brainwashing thing. Okay, so let's do 2 cards for Mr. T, 2 for Mr. B, and then 2 for United States. So 2 for Mr. T. I have the card of the Chariot, which means this actually has a lot of different in-depth meanings. Remember how earlier I was saying a lot of people are staring at the television while some of us are looking up? So this tells me that there's something in the works where I think it has a lot to do with Space Force. And if you guys are like, oh, conspiracy theory, well, just wait. And then I'm going to come back here months later and say, I told you so. So remember Ezekiel's wheel and ascension and, Jesus and ascension. A lot of it, people didn't know that in the scripture, the original scripture says that Jesus had ascended and had been caught up in a fiery chariot. So ancient aliens would tell you it was a metal disc, but he was caught up to the light. And if you guys ever seen unidentified aerial events, they're always light. They're not crafts with metal. If you had something that was hyper technological and advanced, they don't need no metal. Anyways, this one's alchemy. Alchemy, which means magic spells. But the alchemical matter is what people of a 33rd degree practice. Like Chris said earlier, he said Illuminati. But the terminology you want to say is masonry. Masonry are, it's not negative, and I'm not being positive. I'm just being in the middle of this. I'm being fair. In order to get your money bag, you have to understand these hidden mechanisms. When you understand and unlock these mechanisms, you get a money bag. You see this with musicians, entertainers, screenwriters, Jerusalem. I'm just saying what it is. Alchemy is what King Solomon had wrote in the book of the Bible. A lot of people try to... And the reason why I say Jerusalem is because the word abracadabra, the magic, that is a Hebrew word for reveal yourself. Anyway, Mr. T. Oh, God. this doesn't need to say anymore. The only thing I see about this card is I feel happy for Barron Trump because he is 15 now, so he gets to live the rest of 2021 without all that drama. Like I can imagine being a child with the most controversial family of all time, according to our generation, aside of the Rockefellers. But I think child consciousness, everything will go back to focusing on Barron Trump. So you probably will see Trump go away, disappear, and he'll probably just move to another country where he's respected and appreciated, because that's what his ego loves. And the pleasure card came up, so he will get. Sorry about the boobies. Oh, it's covered. Yeah, the desires of Trump's heart. He did what he can, and I think to play fair, I know a lot of people don't like him, but if you had a task to do what you can in an attempt to save the nation from an economic collapse, would you accept criticism, even though you tried everything you could to exercise, utilizing what you used for your corporate skill in your own empire, and you tried to calibrate it into politics? It just doesn't work, because politics is already corrupt to begin with. It isn't a system to give back. It's a system of using people. And that's the result of people who couldn't sit down at the last minute until this happened today, on the 6th day of January. So if you did the math of today, if you guys know numerology, January is a 1, the 6 is a 6. 2021 is a 5. So you have 5 plus, wait. 2, 4, 5, 6. 6 plus 6 is 12. Right? 12. I thought I did something different today. 12, 1 and 3. I'm sorry, 1 and 2 is a 3, and that's another. When you have a triad, let's say in astronomy, a triad means that you have 3 powerful planets that make a trine. And a trine is usually in old Babylon a ritual for it's time to make a sacrifice or make an offering or pray to your altar for wealth and abundance. So because I do the belly dance stuff, we usually perform on full moons. I didn't make it up, but I always know every full moon we have a performance. And then we also see a lot of manifested ideas or things of our goals come to fruition by these numerology days, where you do the math, the common root or the sum of all the numbers make a 3. You guys can know this too. Like if you take your birth date and you calculate it, the final number, the sum root, let's say mine ends up being 5. Like you add all the numbers, and if it's a double digit, you want to do another additional math, and the sum of is your power number or your soul number. And then you look that up in your own Google search. It must be difficult because I think like when somebody is a critic to begin with before 2016, everybody was cool with him, popping bottles. And then all of a sudden, like, it's kind of like, I'll tell you guys a good story. So there was this, me and this guy, Matt Merrill. Hey, Matt Merrill. We were running for Winter Formal King. So I was kind of not that popular, but I was the male dancer of the school. Matt, he did cheer, yes. But it wasn't up until Matt appeared in a guest catalog. He was a guest model. When he appeared right before Winter Formal, that's what really got him the win. So it's kind of like, it's not a cheat, but it's projected as, oh, okay, well, everything was aligned for him. So I'm translating that to Trump's popularity or his, before 2016, people didn't have that much of an issue with him. Because, you would have saw people complaining about the P word way before. So how come he goes into a position of authority and ethics is when people were getting their panties in a bunch? I say that because jealousy, because they're all corrupt. They're all morons, to be quite honest with you guys. Left and right, they're all morons. But jealousy is jealousy, envy is envy, and people with money and wealth will do anything and spend anything to sabotage their colleague, because that's the game that they play, and that's what you call sacred law. You don't let the nature of God willing people to carry out the will of our lives. These are people who are manipulating the will of God onto others. Boop. Don't do that, chat. All right, so of the earth. Hi, Greg. Okay, so for us, it does look like we are co-creators and we can project the thought of designing our own 2021. Like I said in the beginning of this live stream, don't look at that as, oh my gosh, this is happening to us. Oh my God, these people were crazy. Oh my God. Just think of it as, look, you are abundant, you can manifest. And we also saw the number 8 in this whole spiel, if you saw numerology. So number 8 is also infinity. Hi, Jordan. Infinity is, you can, kind of like what I do for manifesting. I write things on a piece of paper. That's my affirmation. Did you hear that? The horn beeping? So the horn beeps are my affirmation if I'm in a thought process. But I also write on a piece of paper and I'll tuck it away somewhere. Months and months later, I might just come across it and go, oh, I did wish for this, didn't I? And that instant gratification puts frequency into, the atmosphere. Forever at infinity. Pi. Yes. The other card that I got for the United States was fruition. So it does look like things will probably go our way after, I would say, I think the rest of January is going to be messy. This is kind of like when the Ninja Turtles defeat Shredder and Trump is Shredder. Bye. We're done. Bye. I'm not giving up on him, but I'm just tired. I want to go back to work. Or I want to be able to I want to be able to be productive again, because it's not cool. It's like the Energizer Bunny. It keeps going and going. There are more people responding than I see of numbers of people in the room. I guess I'll do Joanne. What's the rest of your January look like? And then CJ, I got you also. Greg, if you're watching, I'll put your cards on the side too. Joanne. CJ. Hopefully more work. Joanne, you can also be, I thought of this yesterday. I was like, you can also be a life coach. You know that, Joanne? You don't have to do anything fancy or have any certifications, but you could definitely just give healthy gestures. Like, create a Facebook page. And you don't even have to put your face behind it. Just project, words of positive affirmation for people who might be, for people who probably might be unfortunate to pay for what you do for your service. Yeah, but individual therapy is also like life coaching. You're just giving people insightfulness on guiding themselves. You don't have to tell them what to do. But you're not listening to me, girl. I'm the oracle here. All you have to do is just be virtual. Virtual meaning creating a website where if people want to inquire something, they can have a donation towards your website. Oh, Jenny, you're here. Hey, Jenny from Black. Joanne, listen to me. I'm going to call you and talk to you because you don't have to. Well, you already have a license for therapy. But for life coaching, you're affirming with people that they're making their own choices along the way. You're just affirming. So basically, if someone writes you an email and they say like, I'm just depressed, but it could still go into your therapy mindset, but you're projecting words of affirmation to motivate them to keep going. You're much greater than sitting at a desk listening to people all day. You need to be your own boss. Okay, Jenny, this is for you. Hurry up, cards. So I would focus on TV, but you already know that they're going to say Biden. And then if my predictions are true, people posing as Trump supporters wearing the MAGA hat are probably going to cause riots in the next 3 days. And then they're going to say this is at fault of the pro-Trump supporters. Everyone's going to be mad at each other and fight. But don't do it on my birthday in 2 weeks from now. Okay. CJ, you still here? Girl, EMDR and therapy is the same thing as life coaching. You're just taking the initiative at not reflecting, but you're giving affirmations. Like what I'm doing is life coaching. But I can't say I'm a life coach because I spill all my drama out on Facebook. Who wants a life coach who's already been through like drama? CJ, courage came up, sources came up. So this means evolution, authority. I think there is a job, more work, a promotion, and then, but you have to have the will to want to do it when it comes up. You just got to just take it. So trust these two that it's meant for you. It's in the writing. Jenny. Ain't nobody got time for the many hours. I was supposed to take a virtual shaman schooling to get a degree for shamanism. And it's 100 hours, which I could have passed already, but I was just too lazy. Okay, Jenny, manipulation. I think this has a lot to do with your voice of the people, your voice on social media. Like, you've been addressing a lot of stuff. So I would say listen to your heart by constantly sharing with people. Because what I like about Jenny's posts is just your words. There's no photo attached to it. There's no website saying here, and they fact check it. And I think you getting fact check of that photo the other day was just an affirmation to show you that your words are greater volume than pictures. What you say has greater magnitude than what an image can project. And the Maiden Beauty is confirming that. The Maiden Beauty is what you see is what you get. But then you see Maiden is the most highest label of woman of ethics. And beauty is, the word of your grace. So keep speaking your truth is what that means. And let the haters hate. Because haters don't have a voice. Haters, they copycat. They copy and paste. Like, I don't mean to jab at somebody, but I do have several groups on Facebook. And there are several people, and it's mostly men, it's not women. But what they do is they copy something they've seen and they post it. It's like you're a copycat of, that's not you. Those aren't your words. So as an admin of a group, I would rather have someone who make a guess at what they're in tune to. I would rather have somebody who has an assumption and support the assumption rather than somebody copy and paste or download and share. Like, what are your own words? And that's the thing about what's happening to people watching TV. It's the people who have their own words who are watching people who are copycats. And that's where the conflict is. You're always going to have a conflict. And that's how you manipulate people. People who have a huge, big mouth are always easy to maintain when you stop them in their tracks. When you get their attention, you distract them. Yes, my love. Who was this for? Oh, Joanne, my co-host. Thank you, Joanne, for all. Like, Jenny and Joanne, you two are awesome because you check on my mental health. All right, so Crone of Resurrection. This means rebirth, reinvent. It means an upgrade. It means you're more than, like what I was saying. I think the and you don't have to be an in-person life coach. You could just keep it online for your side hustle. And just have people pay like $5 to receive a piece of advice from a life coach. I'm sure people would love that. And it's virtual. And also too, since we're all like kind of millennials or we're just young, what you want to do is replenish what you spend. So if you earn, let's say $100, you spend 50, this side business over here, life coach, you accumulate funds and you replenish what you spend. Therefore, you accumulate money. That's better than being an Illuminati. Works came up. So you're going to get more work. Yay. And then initiation. You got to start making initiatives on your own. You got to start setting goals weekly. You can't just sit there and hope and wish and expect. You got to start planting your seeds. It's kind of like, because if you are being the advisor of other people in terms of their life path, you got to set your own life paths too. You got to write your own destiny. You're not a millennial? By like a couple years. But you're still under 50. I want to save up for the group practice. See, but then here's the thing. And I'm not against you. I support your goals, my friend. But as a broad, let's say for me, I'm a choreographer, right? So I do the hip hop. I'm reading something from somebody. I do the choreography, the group fitness, and I do the belly dance. So it would be strange for me to say, let me continue to have one fitness class. I'm just only going to do belly dance as a performance. And the hip hop stuff, oh, well, I don't do that anymore. And then that's going to be my cycle for the rest of my life. That's not going to bring abundance and wealth or joy or happiness or delight. What happens is I can go, why don't I do like a cardio belly dance fusion class? Boop, which I started. So I'm integrating a lot of my gifts so that way I can be separate and a whole. I'm not going to argue with you, but see this, I want to work with athletes and eating disorders, people with eating disabilities or eating misfortunes. That's where life coaching comes in. And you don't need to have the license of the therapeutic thing is a backup that you know how to respond to people, you know how to reflect. So do the website. I talked to this, like I don't like psychics. I don't believe in psychics, but one lady caught my attention and she's been like my go-to for years. And her name is Maria Luna. She has a website and she always says, there is a turning point next Tuesday and you must respond to me, let me know about it. So what she does is like, I'll pay like, let's just say like once every 4 months. I'm going through some trials and errors, but this person has a peace of mind and great advice. She doesn't see the future, but what she says is very insightful on how I use my train of thought to manifest what belongs to me, which is abundance. Hi, Natalie. And yeah, I'll pay like $20 every 4 months. You know. Hey, Natalie, I have a card for you. Since you're here. Boom. The sun. Source. This card tells me that you're meditating a lot. You are finding your inner peace. And you're not... you don't give attention to the smaller things, the little things that get in the way. So this is just acknowledging your inner strength. Hey. And your sense of community. You're always willing to do above and beyond for other people. I also see you working on a project for your... Oh, I'm sorry. I should ask permission first. But these are different. These are more of like encouraging words of positive. So I'm sorry. I'll put them on me. So I have a friend who is magnificent, reflective like the sun. And she's a beautiful person and she's part of my community. So I'll leave it at that. Sorry about that. Yeah, some people are very... Okay. No, I would never do the ones with the numbers on them where it's, you know, the pentacles and this, because I think I'll tell you a cool story. Well, not a cool story, but a bad story. I have a close friend, and she actually has those cards that have like the sword and blah blah blah. And long story short, she was doing a prediction onto me, but what she revealed was actually very hurtful for me. This was before I had a lot of situations starting last year, which led to me having a huge depression. But the fact that she saw it and she wasn't expecting that, she tried to turn it on her and say, "Oh, these aren't for you. This is really about for me." And I was like, "Girl." So I'll show you guys the card that she pulled. Give me 2 seconds. Ooh. So the card that she gave me, that she pulled, was this one. And when she pulled this one out, I was like, dang. But if she didn't show me this, I wouldn't have known that somebody was going to sabotage me, and I wouldn't have been prepared for October through October 2020, no, October 2019 to December 31st, 2020 to be this. So what this card is it's the sword, 7 of swords. So 7 is a higher authority. So this kind of means like this is a challenge of my faith. And then me in the middle is like the one sword, but then you have the many going at it. So this means challenges. So it means don't doubt yourself, rise above, keep your head up. But I already knew I was going to go through turmoil because this is the second time I saw this card in 2019. And it wasn't. But the fact that it was my friend who pulled the cards and I wasn't expecting that, and I didn't ask her to pull those, it was like, yeah. So you never want to set the intention on behalf of somebody unless they ask you permission. So you always want to say, yes, I gave you permission. Therefore, you can take accountability for what's revealed. Whew. I also found this one, the 12 of Kings. So 12 is like the highest level. Oh no, 12 cups, whatever that is. But I don't like these cards because the symbols on the hands, I don't like them. Illuminati. And then it's just the frequency of them are not of divine and Holy Spirit. So that's why I just kind of go, nope. I like these because they give you positive word triggers, or they give you thoughts, like the Fool card. The Fool can be like, everybody who believes what's happening on TV is being fooled. If you think that people are fighting for the justice of the country, you're in the wrong reality. These people who are in power basically just want more money. They don't care about us. They just want us to go back. They want us to save our energy, rest up, pretend there's a virus. Well, there is a virus, but the way they dragged it out, it just kind of made me say, oh, they just playing the whole stock market the whole time. Anyways. Looks like you're going to get... Well, it essentially, that card of the swords, it's a death renewal. So death renewal means when you hit a wall... Ooh, or drop your wine. When you hit a wall, instead of turning around and starting over, it's basically like the Super Mario game. When you die, you have to repeat it. Boop. So it means endless cycles, but the constellation Capricorn just had Saturn leave. So Saturn, the ruling planet of Capricorn, just left. So therefore, we don't have to feel the pressure anymore from having to do things. You told me when you first met me that I would get an abundance with jobs. I was right. I was on point. And remember, you got 2 jobs. And I said you were going to get 2 jobs. Then you said, I'm trying to decide which one. And I said, if you do both, you're going to be extra tired. And sure enough, you worked so much. But I think what I'm saying now is going to be beneficial. You need to have a shard of your own jewel reflect over here. So that's why I said if you do like do like a I don't know, just do a Facebook page. Like I have one called Words for Wisdom. That's my Facebook page, and I just post words of encouragement. And that's also for my Aunt Janet too. But if I were to graduate that, I would, because I have a YouTube channel for the same name, but I need to build the subscribers in order to get the monetization for the YouTube channel. So that'd be a way to generate income to replenish what you're spending. Hola, David. Cheers, David, if you have some wine with you. I kind of had a sangria. I took a smoothie and added wine to it. You can also, Miss Thing, you can do EMDR. They also have AMSR, which I started to like it, but then it creeped me out because people do weird things. You can do EMDR on YouTube. Simple. And then once you build your subscribers, then you can generate income automatically based off the videos you posted. Oh God, I'll talk to you later about it. But the thing about it, there's a lot of people who think that licenses, certifications, and degrees are what get you through the door. Well, I hate to tell you guys, but 2020 was proof that you could do anything without having to have the education to prove. Like, going forward, this pandemic has really shown a lot of employers what they need. And a lot of what people need right now is just people who are ready to work. So to have this license and that and this and, like for me, you would think that I had a bachelor's for dance. Nope. I should have finished college for dance, but the experience that I've gathered throughout all these years from teaching dance, I already taught at like 3 universities and done master classes. So I've done my part. So don't always rely on the paper and the degrees and licenses. Well, I'm not trying to be a therapist. Anyways. David. Where'd you go, David? It's funny, David is my new friend, and we have like these funny sleep patterns. So a lot of times I'll text him when he's asleep, and then he'll text me when I'm waking up. I know David probably didn't ask me to do this, but I kind of want to do David's cards. Ha 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 ha. I could do it as reflective too. I see David. What's funny is the artwork looks totally like your artwork that you do. And I see pessimism. So pessimism doesn't mean that it could have just, it's probably just acknowledging the state of being right now, that in the environment of everyone being pessimistic, the focus is really, see how she's thinking and her thought is on the beauty within. So this is saying to look beneath, look beyond, look within, know your greatness. Thought creates, what is it? Thoughts provoke frequency? I don't know. And then the moon. The moon means it's the divine feminine, and that's where we're at right now, going to the golden age of Aquarius, all divine. So this means that if you do things from your heart, you set your intentions from your heart, everything you do is with compassion, you're going to see a lot of results in a healthy way, positive way. Joanne, I'm not talking about certifications anymore. But honestly, I think people, in general sense, is not responding to what you're saying. I acknowledge what you're saying. But I think a lot of times, this is why I like you as a co-host. A lot of times people feel that I graduated, I'm done. Now I can look for a job. But what happens is that you get stuck behind having to professionally lie in front of people, knowing it's a lie, But you have to use reverse psychology to you know, to make people think that you're not lying to them. Oops, I dinged my. You know what I mean? Every position of work allows you to have the artificial as well as the authentic. And it's a balancing scale. Sometimes you gotta be and other times you're like, I ain't doing that. I ain't cool with that. I'm not talking about you and your clients, Miss Thang. I'm just saying that when people in the line of work of professionalism, when they are graduating, they say, I'm done graduating, time to work. And then they work for something that may not be authentic. And I think you had a situation recently, Miss Thang, where you had to get out if it weren't for me telling you that. Right? And then that's what I mean. There's a balance between authenticity and artificialness. If someone's artificial and saying like, well, we got to produce numbers and we got to have this, and that. So who cares about the people needing help? Just pretend that you did 10 clients today. You can't cheat the system. Because ultimately, guess what? There's hell to pay when you cheat. And going through all the education to be authentic, to prove you're authentic because you had all the, all the knowledge and wisdom to go into your accreditation, your degree, why waste that on being artificial? That's all I'm saying. But I can't imagine being this all day, every day. That's why I like my my psychiatrist, because he's a dude, and he's a dude that makes me mad at least a few times a year, but he's authentic about it. If he always told me what I wanted to hear, I would be a zombie right now, just on meds. But he would always challenge me by saying, I'll do this, but I need you to blah, blah, blah for yourself. If you're not ready to do that for yourself, don't come back to my office next month. And I appreciate that. I appreciate someone being a hard ass. Was that Michelle? I can't see who is viewing me. Oh, Jan. Hi, Jan. Jan, I was laughing at one of your posts the other day. Yes. This lady with the striped shirt, she's getting on my nerves. You can tell, like, what is she saying? She's always running her mouth.
Would have affected a different outcome in the election. This is not simply a conclusory statement. The results of the election have been litigated. The record is clear. The lawsuits challenging the election results failed.
Let me ask you guys a question. Do you think that she's, is that her own words, or did she have to, like, rehearse that? Because if this were a real serious situation where people were seriously affected, someone would speak from the moment, like how I do my live streams. I don't plan what I'm going to say. I just speak. I know the subject, and I just kind of, I try to stay, on subject. But because I'm an artist, I'll wander. But that lady had a lot to say. But you know why? Because if I were somebody who choreographed this whole thing, I would say, she has to be like a mom. We need a female. And this is why I don't like all this. Because didn't we have the Me Too movement years ago? The women's rights movement, blah, blah, blah. This is why I don't like politics. Because they take the things that we hear, like let's say civil rights, and they will create an opposition scenario. Like, let's use a black female and make her the face of blah, blah. Or let's say, for example, The Bachelor. He's cute, though. The new Bachelor, the black guy. Everyone's like, oh, it's the first black Bachelor. I'm like, really, though? After what? Black Lives Matter movement. Joe Biden always name-dropping the black community. Really? Really, Kamala Harris? First African-American vice president female. Now the black. You see what I mean? There's too many paper trails of black, 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 black. And to the people who are not as authentic, they just kind of rather read the script. And I'm not saying it's wrong, but a lot of people can read the script, stay, in alignment to what you're told to say. That's your job. But that's the problem. You're still bound to slavery. You're still bound to being. It was that Gavin Newsom. Blech. Is that Gavin? No, it's not. Anyway, you guys see what I'm saying, right? Like, from my perspective, this is just me. My personal bias, and I've never spoke a bias in years, but my only bias that I've held to my heart was they will always utilize people of this color, and they will always use something to bait us to follow it in order to give them more attention, wealth, power, and opportunity. It's kind of like an opportunist. You know, someone tries to date you because you're rich or something like that. Or someone knows that you're pop. Like Kim Kardashian, for example, was an opportunist because she was nobody. And it wasn't her opening her legs to Ray J that got her even more famous. It was she was on the arm of Paris Hilton. Remember that? Remember Paris and Nicole got into a dispute, and then the surreal life kind of went away. Well, then Kim Kardashian became the right arm of Paris Hilton. And then Paris, in her documentary recently, you guys got to watch that Paris document. It's good. Paris talked about playing people by changing her tone of voice. And she was talking like that. And she's like... And people will fall for a baby. You know, people love babies. Babies are cute. So if it's a female who's talking in baby voice, you actually think that's like so cute. And that's how you manipulate folks. I loved her documentary. It was very surreal and kind of like dark and deep. But then she brought light to it by offering people who were also in her situation a voice and a platform. And then that gave them a lot of money to give back to their families and their communities. You know what I mean? That's what I like. But they ain't gonna do that for us black people. There's too many of us. I was thinking about her and you mentioned it. We're in sync, CJ. Saw her documentary. Is it true that her and Kanye I don't know if they're getting a divorce. I think if she had to get a divorce, see, there it is. She has to divorce him. He's too outspoken. Hey, Lolo. I don't want to put you on blast, but the world needs to know the apple of my eye, my Southern belle, Lolo's in the house. We've been friends for a couple years, and she's from a Southern state. I won't put you on blast too much, but we're totally two different people on the outskirts, what we look like. People will never think that I'll be friends with someone of a particular demographic living on the other side of the country. And it was cool. So what happened was I had a post on YouTube talking about being yourself, I think it was. And being myself, I said, people are going to think I'm crazy. I'm going to write some numbers on a piece of paper. And when I wrote, kind of like what I was doing earlier on this live stream, I was doing numerology, because people who do numerology look at numbers. Numbers can tell you how to forecast what energy is going to happen the next day, either positive or negative. At the time, I was predicting false flags because there were things happening on certain highways that had a certain number. Those numbers have frequency. Like if you guys look at, don't think I'm crazy, please. The incident in Vegas, unfortunately, that was horrible, but it was on Route 66. And then the intersection was Route 91, which 9-1, but then it was 11 years from the 9/11 situation. So, okay, she's loud and proud, Mississippi, yeah. But see, there's a paper trail. And that's how I started to catch on to this. And I'm like, I'm starting to unplug from the Matrix, because the Matrix had your boy. The Matrix had me dancing to Beyonce's 7-Eleven song, right? 7-Eleven, 7 twice, 7 twice. And you see how like the music makes you do all that? And it makes you grab your cup of wine and you're, yes. Even that word yes creates frequency, right? Everyone's doing the yes. But then I started to go, what does 7-Eleven mean? So I did my Google search, and I was like, oh, I didn't know 7/11 was the alleged birth date of Jesus. He was born because and then I started navigating. I'm like 7 July. He had to be a Leo because Leo is the king, right? So then I was like, oh, then 11 is a gateway. 11 means 11:11. You guys, angelic. So I was like, then why is Beyonce dancing to 7? And then that's where I was really thrown off because I'm like, she's not singing about Jesus or twerking for God. But when I started hearing the song in the background, I heard her like these little screams. And then I started navigating more, rabbit hole. Long story short, I noticed that and I'm not saying it's wrong, but her idol or her belief system is Ethiopian. So her goddess Oshun is what delivers her prosperity. It's not a bad. I mean, anybody can choose their own thing, but Beyonce's from. Did you guys hear? Allegedly, she's from France. She's from France. See, and that's the thing about like America. Everything is really about money. So if you think that Beyonce's an R&B artist, you think she's black and from Texas. Did they say she was born in Texas? They say she grew up in Texas. But I heard that she's Creole, or was that Croatian? But her roots are from France, and she's technically really white, which is why her hair is constantly like blonde. That's natural hair color. And her mom's white. They have to tan her to make it look black. Allegedly. Anyways, this is a fun live stream. I had the most people view me today than ever. I think because you guys don't like watching. Everything on TV is probably on that special report. And that's what I mean. Like, CJ and I were cracking the codes earlier. And we were talking about numbers and frequency. Nikola Tesla always talked about 3, 6, and 9. And I don't know how to break that down, but when you multiply 3, 6, and 9, and the number result comes out 2, you divide that number into itself, and it'll have infinity, 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 infinity. So that's what the power of 369 is that those numbers are powerful because when you multiply them or divide them into themselves, it goes backwards. So that makes any sense. Hey, Auntie Lisa. Girl, you watching this circus show? Speaking of Creole, my beautiful aunt, she's Creole. She got that Beyonce swag. But at least my aunt didn't lie about being Creole. Beyonce did. What are on your guys' minds right now? What are you guys thinking? I think 2021 is a year where I'm not going to be paying attention to all this politics stuff. It's just kind of like, I'll take Joanne's comment. It's immature. When you see people acting immature, regardless of who. The thing about it is, you can't put your hopes and it's hard to say this because the reason why I think a lot of people, you guys don't leave this chat, but the reason why I think people put a lot of dependency on Trump was because if you follow the book of Revelations, regardless of the character of that man, you saw revelations unfolding from the time that he went into office until like yesterday. If you follow me, there's a scripture that said that the stranger from the north will come visit the land of the Israelites, and he will touch the wall and give a prayer. Whatever he says, do it. That's the whole translation of. Not saying that he was great, but I thought that when Jerusalem became the capital, I was like, ooh, that's in the book of Luke. Because my grandmother's she's a minister, and my Auntie Lisa would tell you guys, my grandma made sure we knew scripture. We knew scripture. We may not remember all the numbers, but we did have to know like the references because my grandmother said there'd be a time where she said that there was a dream that she had where she looked through the blinds and she saw helicopters in the sky. So that reminds me of these days because we have militant helicopters all day, every day. So she said to us in church one day, she said, when that happens, I need you guys to look into the book. And the book will always tell you what to seek. And that will give you prosperity. So this is why, like, when I'm losing a lot of friends on Facebook, but I'm like, look, I can't keep a friendship when scripture says, look for this, and I'm sticking to that. That is where my faith and my stronghold goes, regardless of what I look like or who I date, kiss, whatever. Like, my soul, the energy that powers my body, knows that this certain thing, this book, is giving me life, so that when I die, my book of life shows that I acknowledged everything. So, boop, boop. No, but it's true. It's I look at Luke. It says there'll be, what does that say? Things in the sky that will... Oh, Lolo, help me out. I'm blanking on this one. There'll be the day where we look up to the skies and men's hearts will fail them at the sight of these things. So that's why, I don't know, I don't want to say too much. But if you guys are looking up, there's just a lot of different things up there, and we can't be the only people here. So we got to start being comfortable that anything can happen these days. You see the monoliths, and the monoliths are popping up. I think that those are just trying to help people open their consciousness that possibly, maybe one day, allegedly, you might get a boyfriend who's from Venus. He ain't got no financial problems. He ain't got no debt and no kids and no baby's mother. That's my hope and dream, to like date somebody who ain't got no problems. Okay. No fear. And I'm going to piggyback on that one because I know people say have no fear but the fear of God. And I think, I started to believe that until I kind of graduated from believing everything scripture says literally. And I say maybe living in fear for a moment of time was only to bring your consciousness to a certain degree. Then once you learn to be free on your own because you have free will, now you can carry on and be fruitful with that conditioning of grounding your consciousness or balancing your consciousness. Like kind of like what I'm doing. I know how to look at different things and just kind of speak it to existence. And I have that fear of people thinking I'm crazy. Yes, Jenny. I love you guys who are on my live right now. Yes. I want to have like a label for this this chat, like getting real with Aaron. Right? And then I'll have like the whole desk in my headphones. It'll be like a podcast. That's my dream. What do you guys think right now? I'm asking y'all questions. It's like you guys are waiting for me to give you answers. I want one of those blondes and blue-eyed boys. The Palladians? Yes. So allegedly, this is what I heard from behind closed doors. So you know how like, don't leave my chat, y'all. But you know how Trump says there's a space force. So the moment that there was a space force, I was like, how come that's not NASA? Oh, because NASA lies. And they hide stuff. They cover things up. It's like the Vatican. Let's just keep everything from everybody and tell them something else. Right? That's NASA. So Trump created this Space Force. And I'm like, well, who went to Trump to make the Space Force? So that's where I went down the rabbit hole. Ow, little bam. So for those of us who believe the Space Force narrative, hi, Patrick. Oh, Patrick, by the way. Where is it? I gotta make fun of you, Patrick. It's all your fault. So Patrick gave me a face mask. And I was like, ugh, I don't like this face mask. Where is it? I gotta show it off. P.S. You guys, my birthday's in 2 weeks. 2 Tuesdays from now. So, P.S. I like this face mask that Patrick gave me because I've lost every single face mask that I've had last year, except for this one. Isn't that a coinky dick, mister? And number two, it matches my sweater. So when I wear it with my sweater, and I look like I'm matching. Boom. So I like to tell the world I apologize for being shady towards Patrick, because when he gave it to me, I was like, okay, what am I going to do with that face mask? And I was like, you wore it already. And he was like, if you're my best friend and you support me and you love me, you will wear the mask. I'm like, I'll leave it over there. And then long story short, all my face masks, I don't know what happened to them, but they're gone. But at least I have a piece of a best friend with me. That's kept me comfort this pandemic. Yes, we gonna party on my birthday. You see, I'm getting the lights ready in the background. And then my birthday basically is gonna be the last day of us having this kind of conversation, being joyful, because the next day Biden's gonna be president, and a lot of us are gonna be uncomfortable. The only thing that I'm hoping is that people will exercise maturity. Let's just leave that alone. But I think a lot of people who are... What I don't like about this narrative, it's making people have the sense of those who were opposite of Democrat are the enemy. And that's what I'm trying to start planting the seed by saying, like, I hope that people with common sense don't do this, but I'm just hoping people don't throw other people under the bus and start hurting their neighbor or whoever just because of, because everyone who believes in what is out already, which is what 2020 was about, they ain't my president either. Like Lolo said in the comments, the Most High is my president, my divine dictator, and what else did we say? And he legislates my life, right? He's the legislature of my destiny. Gypsy decorator, yeah. Lolo, you haven't seen my apartment. I'm being very playing favoritism. You haven't seen my apartment, huh? So I'm working on this here. I don't know what to do, but I think I want to get gold and design something so it looks like that. That I bought from Amazon. So this is my apartment. And then I'm pissed because General Hospital wasn't on today because of them with their Illuminati badges. You see that? Illuminati badges. I see it. There goes my affirmation. You hear the cops? Get them. Affirmation. You see how that works? That's why I love my place. It's so abundant. That's my office for the job that I don't know what I'm going to have, but that's just kind of like what I did was one day it'll be some kind of like, and then my closet, and then my bed. Ooh, y'all, you can't judge me. Okay. No, I wasn't eating Doritos. But that's my bed, and that's where I sleep. And there's my dream catcher. Yep. It's peaceful because everything outside of these walls is so ratchet. I don't like living here. Well, not in here, but the city here is horrible. It's a small community. Everybody's in your business. Thank you, CJ Jen. Bring your necklace. Oh, Joanne, I forgot to tell you, there's no class tomorrow. So we're gonna do the dance in-person class next week. Boo, because only 2 people had confirmed going tomorrow, but 2 people doesn't cover the rental for the facility. Sorry, that's just the way it is. And also, if things shift, interesting with politics, because we don't know until midnight where things will go. if anyone does any protesting or if there are any false flags tomorrow or any, we just kind of don't want to do anything after days like this. Because I had an intuitive feeling to not to go too far tomorrow. If you don't have to be anywhere tomorrow, don't go. Because this whole thing can flip. They'll say, Trump got the election by 1 vote. But they worked so hard to shut down this whole fraudulent voting. I'm going to tell you guys this. Do I believe there's voter fraud? Yes. How do you prove it? Well, I think when a technician is at their mainframe, the mother computer, and if someone's casting a ballot electronically, easily anybody with hacking skills, girl, bye. Bye. I'll see you tomorrow, my love. Anybody with hacking skills can hack anything. But also, too, like, people forget that Dominion, here's me, Mr. Conspiracy Theory. There was a TV show called Dominion, where Angels versus Demons came out in June. And then the computer program of the votes was called Dominion. Coincidence? I don't know. There was a TV show 2 years ago called Dominion, where it was about something. But then Mr. Robot came out this year too. And it talked about hacking politicians and framing them and blackmailing them. And then it silenced them where they couldn't speak. So everything that they show you on TV, I just kind of write in my journal as a possibility. I saw people leave my live stream. It went from 8 to 3. I don't know why people don't believe conspiracy. See, the conspiracy theory, I think, is a cursed word. It's so cursed because I think it's healthy to have a theoretical outlook of life. It's healthy to have an observation that there are possibilities beyond what you're being told. And sometimes with your own eye or with your own life experience, you do witness something that has a rabbit hole or a paper trail that connects to the thought or theory that there's something more to what we're being told. TMZ is like the king of shutting down conspiracy theories because everyone loves gossip and juicy dirt. And then when you rely on something that provides you instant gratification, it gives you that euphoria of something that's happening to other people. Then when they say, oh, don't believe this, everybody, you will believe it. And that's what we call, from our card deck, the sacred law. It's the sacred law. See, there goes my siren again. And you guys don't know, I live in the center of downtown Long Beach, so trust me, if there's anything that will go down as far as rioting or protesting, it will happen here first. But what I'm feeling and thinking is that everything will probably go for Joe Biden. People who are going to fake themselves as though they are Trump supporters, just like what you saw at the Capitol Hill. It kind of gave an example to a lot of people to do this, which is sad and horrible. So a lot of people who are, probably, let's say no entity, and they choose to impose themselves, be imposters of being pro-Trump supporters, causing havoc in America because of this Biden win. That's what I'm afraid of. Jeez Louise. And then that's going to put everybody who kind of showed understanding, and not people who, because I think people I think a lot of people understand how the republic works. They understand how the founding fathers found America and said, be a republic, don't become a democracy. The only reason why they said that is because democracy leads to unresolved matters, blackmail, people are being harmed, threatened, and then you have to create whistleblowers in order to whistleblow. Living the free of the republic has nothing to do with sabotaging people and all that. It talks about building cities and making wealth from it. And the last thing I want to say was the Bill of Rights. You guys know We the People. If you read it, it says nothing about the people who are citizens of the United States. We the people, it says in the clauses, I'm going to sum it up. protecting those from being judged who govern the country. So all these people here, they can do whatever they want and they won't have any accountability or blood on their hands because the Bill of Rights protects them. We have the, what do you call it? The amendments, but the Bill of Rights, we the people, the we the people speech, that's them. Hey, Diana. Hey, boo. I miss you, boo. Anyways, that's just a thought to think about. Is I'm not my friend. I can say his name. He's an a-hole, Eddie Spaghetti. So me and Eddie got into a really heated argument Sunday night, and he was mad that everybody who did not agree with his side of politics, he had to say like, "I wish them to hell and hope they die." Holler. And I was like, Eddie, you acting that way is kind of what's turning everybody off. You didn't cut them off, they cut you off. Because you shouldn't live life wishing people like, I don't know, anyways. But Eddie was just telling me a lot of stuff. And I'm like, look, Eddie, if you think that these people of a particular color, you see like only 3 black people sitting up in there, right? And 2 of them are from the Middle East. No offense. But anyways. Oh, she has Illuminati badge too. Look. Where we at? Where's her Illuminati badge? Look. Oh, gosh. The cube of Saturn, I see it. Mm-hmm. The ruler in the middle. I'm just being silly. I have friends who are, how do I say it in a positive way? There are sacred laws that people adhere to, right? There's the Bible. There is Kabbalah. There is, Kabbalah goes into Judaism. There is the Quran of Islam. And there are other ones that I don't know. But there's 3 entities. And so I think when people of celebrity and wealth, in order to protect their physical body and to protect their body at work, it's best to follow one of the strongest spiritual entities. It is what it is. You see a lot of them do all that stuff or that. But those are just things that, like, let's say for me, I wore my amethyst for a long time. That to me is just a representation of protecting my body, my vessel. So I understand all that. So I can put all the conspiracy theories to rest, that they're not all evil, that I have friends. You know, I have free will and I choose Jesus Christ and the blood. But for my friends who are, I see you guys. Y'all think I don't know, but I do. But I always reach out and I show love and compassion for everybody. If that's what brings you abundance and wealth and you can feed your family and not have them suffer, I commend you, because now is the greatest suffering of all time. I'm not saying you have your own choices, people. Yeah, watch Da Vinci Code. We do that every day, Da Vinci Code. I don't want to do this to you guys, but you see the pyramid, the triangle, and Doritos? Well, the fact that it's sideways, it's okay. In the music industry, you see them with it upwards. And then in politics, you see that there's this downward. So basically what it's saying is that there's an as above, so below. So that there's work for everybody. People who are sideways or people who utilize the sideways. From my understanding or my studying, my research, is basically like, so you know Trinity, Father, Son, Father, Mother, Holy Spirit, right? So that's what the triangle is, because it's the power of whatever. But if you turn it sideways, there's a group of people who use that as they are the ones who, let's say, clean up behind everyone's foolishness. And then the ones that go below are the ones who are the grounding. They take the affliction, they take all the pain, the suffering. So it makes perfect sense to me when I see like Mr. T talking and his fingers are pointing down. And then you see music, where music's to amplify everybody, make them feel good, raise their consciousness. That's why you see them go up. So that's the healthiest way I can explain it, and being very unbiased. But I just choose Father, Son, Holy Spirit. I just love, it's easy. You just, anyways, that was a conspiracy theory. But I believe it. It makes sense. You just gotta have somebody explain it to you. But you can't always ask out loud, because then that gets you in trouble. You're going to attract the wrong people. Anyways, I think I'm going to go now. This was a good dialogue today. I like it a lot. Yes. Is there anything else you guys would like to share before I go? Yep. Anyway, going forward, good luck. And let's just see what happens in 24 hours. But just to repeat, Joanne, there's no class tomorrow. I'm going to do my online virtual dance, and I'll do my online virtual tummy workout as well. So those will be available tomorrow. Yeah, elaborating on what you're saying, Jenny. The only reason why I have this way of explaining it is because, unfortunately, there are people who had a lot of suffering, and they made conscious choices to take on certain practices in order to have prosperity and abundance for themselves and their family. Like, let's say someone's grandparent was a legend in their own, and if they passed away, somebody wants to carry on the legacy, but let's say their family bloodline has a certain walk of life or a belief system or religion. So I actually learned to respect that instead of always blasting it on social media and going, ooh, look what they're doing. They're up to something, and you can't prove that. And there's no harm in my connection to these people, so I can always just say, like, it's just best to not tamper or meddle in people's business. Let them do what they do. Your job is your job. It's like the game of chess. They make a move, you make a move, but you stay on your side. Because when you cross over, you gonna lose. Anyways, have a great rest of your evening, and I'll see you guys in the next Facebook post. Bye.